Welcome to the next installment of the Dismount Podcast, and today we are discussing episode 59, Acceptance. How do I come to terms with myself? Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Let's take ownership for all of our bullshit, right? Yep, well, it took about 5 minutes of taking these notes today, journaling, for me to absolutely just be socked in the face by my own personal soul. How am I going to answer these was the first thing that came to my mind when I looked at question number 1 today. So let's just get right into it. We got Jeff, we got Derry, we got myself, Zach. This is the Dismount Squad, and this is a Don't Trust Us, Trust Yourself podcast. So we're about to rip 6 questions. We journal on them. This is the episode outline. We're going for number 1 right now. What's one part of yourself or your past that you struggle the most to accept? The second part of this question will be, what did it take to finally face it? And I'll take this one, guys, to start us out. I have 3. One of them is allowing my empathy to cloud my judgments. And this actually stemmed from something that you said on the podcast recently, and we've kind of brought it back almost every episode. The concept of putting the mask on yourself before you take care of others. And that was something that I definitely didn't do in the past that I had to let go. I was someone who felt like I was constantly trying to take care of someone else's mask, and then come home and I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, you never put your mask on today to be able to breathe. How the hell did you even make it home? And you sit there and you're just physically drained. You're emotionally drained. You're mentally drained. And you're just sitting there going, am I just a shell of existence right now? And that is miserable. And the other one for me was letting go. And it stems into the other part of it, which is caring too much. I have cared way too much. And this is something that I've experienced at jobs. When I'm sitting there at a job, I'm building somebody else's dream. If this is something that I'm not sitting there going, hell yeah, dude, I'm jazzed up. I'm so excited to wake up today and go to work. Well, I can tell you this. I don't know if I've had that job yet. I think I've had experiences in those jobs where I'm like, man, I'm real excited for this new challenge that I'm about to have. But I don't think I've had a job where I'm excited to get out of bed right now. And that for me was, I would allow that to just ride with me, of just being so upset that this is my existence. This is what I have to do. This is bullshit, man. I can't accept that this is my reality. I want to fucking throw this in the trash bin. Where is the recycle all right now? Because that trash bin would be full on my desktop. So.
Nice bin of trash you got over there, bud.
So yeah, mine was carrying way too much. And what did it take to finally? Well, it took way too many times of going around on the hamster wheel and thinking to yourself, did I just experience this exact thing 2 days ago? I don't know about you guys, but those were mine for me, was finally taking the time to face yourself.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, for me, honestly, like, my past, like who I used to be as a person, like that for me, that goes into, accepting who you are today. Like, for me, like, I can reflect so much on the past and like who I used to be, but like accepting like I was even telling you before, like that who you are, like it's hard to see that sometimes. What's the old analogy? See the forest through the trees type shit.
Yeah.
You get so much caught up into, who you were, and it's hard to accept who you've become. And like that, for me, that's a struggle, because like I will tell you, like you sit with so much like history, and like that you sometimes, like for me, I can't fathom, being a good person, a role model, a good husband. Like when people say that stuff to you, like you think about it, you go like, wow, like did my wife just say you're a good husband? Like you're doing great. Like you hear that shit, but like, you know what I mean? Like to grow into that person and to accept that person and be that person. That's what it is, dude. Like you have to be that person. Like, so for me, like I had like, in the second part, like what did it take? It took for me simply to just reflect and realize that shit. Like, dude, like people speak life into you. Like the people that love you, they make you who you are. They remind you, keep being the good person that you are. Keep being, that person that you could, before you couldn't fathom who he was. Now you just have to accept it and then grow from it. But like I said, the second part of that is like, who I was is not who I am.
Yeah.
And simply that allowed me to accept who I am now. Like, you don't have to dwell in the past. You don't have to worry about none of the things that people may think or may find out, or like, because we in the world where people can find out whatever they want about you. There's no secrets.
Yeah.
I take care of people for a living, dude. They can Google me, search me, find out all kind of shit. Like, I got a MySpace. Remember them MySpace? I got one of them joints floating around somewhere if it's still up.
What was your song?
I don't even remember. Look, this showing your age too, bro. It's like, I got a MySpace.
I'm trying to think of what a Jeff song would be back in like 2003.
Oh man, it probably was some
Franchise Boys.
Some Cash Money shit, probably some Lil Wayne, some
Yeah.
trap music, like early trap music,
Yeah.
probably some T.I. shit or something. You know what I mean?
What you know about that?
Yeah. But yeah, once it allows you, you accept that person though. That's what you have to face. Like for me, that's what when you face it. Like I was like, you know what, it's okay to morph from that person who you were and accept this next person, this new person.
God, how hard is that sometimes when someone goes, man, I'm so thankful for you. And you're like,
what I do?
What the fuck did I do?
I ain't even do shit. Like, what? I'm just me. I'm just trying to be me. Like, respect
I'm just
that.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff today, Jeff tomorrow.
Yeah, don't make me see. That's my shit. You know what I mean? I used to say that all the time, and that's the truth. I'm Jeff today, Jeff tomorrow. I'm gonna be me. You know what I mean? And like it's funny. Like
I remember going to Olive Garden as a family once, and like this still sticks me. I was like probably 13 years old, and like Jeff was doing something that just did not make my sister happy. And like we're at dinner, and like Jeff's like, I don't care what you think, man. I'm Jeff today. I'm Jeff at Olive Garden. I'm Jeff at Home Depot. I'm Jeff at work. I'm Jeff everywhere, every day. It don't matter.
accepting who you is, baby. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I remember that shit.
Oh, that's terrific. I mean, for me, I kind of thought back about like struggling through lack of accountability and discipline for me. Like those are the parts of me that I think are the hardest to accept because they keep me away from the person that I want to be. It's really easy for me to forget about the commitments I make to myself, like almost instantaneously. Just like, okay, this week I am going to get up once at 5 a.m. and work out. This sounds like a broken record on this, and that record is getting very old. If it was a vinyl, it'd be scratched up, bro. It'd be the worst gift you could give someone. Wicka. You did not wake up. It sucks because like it turns into like what it is not only that, it's just this loop of like being disappointed in myself for not following through on that and like, oh, okay, I set the alarm, I'm gonna wake up early, and now there's always an excuse, and fortunately the excuses turn into like an identity for me, and deep down I know that like the reasons why I'm not following through aren't the excuses. It's honestly probably just that I don't respect myself enough to follow through into changing myself in those little tidbits into the person that I want to be. And I think I'm afraid to admit it because I guess it comes off weak. If I just sit here and keep saying the same shit over and over again and like keep falling through, like it just comes off weak to me. So I try to protect that as much as possible and not be like, oh yeah, no, I can be disciplined. I can take control of my life whenever I want. And maybe it's not that easy. And then that loop of like continuing to disappoint myself only fulfills the prophecy even more. And that shit, you have to accept that, okay, cool, maybe it's going to take a little bit more intentional hard work to get to where you want to go and not feeling so guilty about letting yourself down. Like it doesn't have to be these huge leaps and bounds. It can be small steps and you can be okay with that as well. And for me too, it also feels like I have to play this role a lot of the time where like, not everybody, but there are a lot of people I feel like in my life that look at me as someone like, oh, Derek, he got it all figured out. He wakes up, he's in shape, he got a good job, he got a great girl. And I'm like, a lot of that's correct, but there's still like a lot of things personally for me. Yeah, that I want to take care of. And like in reality, like I feel like I'm getting better at aligning with that type of stuff. It's just as I want to move forward and accept those types of things about me, it's good to be honest and then also like step out of like the fear of it. I think that's a big commonplace theme throughout this entire episode for me would be just the stepping out of living in fear that I'm not going to be enough or I'm going to fail or I'm not going to be able to do it the perfect way. That perfectionism type setup that I think is honestly just a huge blockade, that's probably the biggest excuse of all is exactly that. So I think as I lean into it more, it's more of understanding that it's not about like the habits I'm in. It's more about the identity. And if I keep building up this identity for myself as like, oh, he just always like never follows through, then my behavior is going to continue to loop myself back into never following through because that's a standard I set for myself. You know? Sorry, I gotta get a drink of water.
Nah, the question that I'd have is, isn't it so nice and comfortable in those excuses sometimes?
It's complacency, man. It's
comfort.
perfectly fine.
It's
yeah.
comfort.
Yeah.
It's like a warm meal.
It's like a warm bed
comfy.
when it's fucking
Hell
negative 3 degrees out. That's what it is. It's the difference. Do I really want to wake up at 6:30 and go for a run outside right now before I go to work? No, absolutely not. But I can tell myself that. But when it's April and it's 65 degrees out and there's a beautiful sunrise and I'm going to get up, what's the excuse then? It's not the excuse. It's the identity I've built for myself that is, I'm just going to find the excuse. And the excuse is just me keeping myself in that same loop. So it's never about the excuses. The excuses are just me not respecting myself enough.
Yeah.
And I understand that. It's not easy to accept. It's not easy to move forward on. But like I'm aware enough to realize that it usually isn't about whatever convenient excuse I come up with that day.
Do you know what one of the things that's jamming me up right now is in accepting waking up in general, just in general? I really, really like waking up and allowing myself to just wake up. Like, and I know, what the fuck are you talking about? You sound like you're fucking.
Oh, no, I know exactly what you mean.
But there are so many days when I go to work for 7:00, so I got to be out of here by 6:15 to be there at 7:00. So I'm getting up at 5:30, and between 5:30 and 6:45, I got 45 minutes to do, to wake up and be ready to drive 45 minutes in a fucking car with a bunch of jackasses on the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I cannot tell you how enjoyable and how much I want to accept that I love a slow morning. I love a slow morning. I love waking up and just allowing myself, because what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to do 50 squats and 50 push-ups to start the day. Yeah, that's great. When you wake up and you're like, oh, I can allow my joints to get a little loose and, might get a bowel movement out first before I start doing all this.
Whoa.
But when I just go straight into jump out of bed and I'm like, all right, time to bang out 25 push-ups, I'm like, what was the difference between instantaneously jumping out of bed and putting my body right into stress of working out than sitting on the toilet and putting myself right into doom scroll and adding chaos of like, oh, well, there's horrible shit going on in the world. Oh, great. What was the difference? I didn't do anything
There's
different.
nothing.
I was like, man, I don't want to stop ever looking at TikTok when I wake up and go to the bathroom. So what do? I'll just do 50 push-ups and 50 squats to get that stress, man.
I did the same thing this morning. I do it often. I try to replace this idea of like having this beautiful morning with myself with just doing the Marine Corps, like throw yourself in a freezing cold shower. So like instead of just like, oh, wake up slowly and enjoy the morning and sit there with yourself. And then I'm feeling a little bit awake. I'll get the warm up exercises going. I'll take a shower, cup of coffee, walk into work. Hey, everybody. No, it's 15 minutes before I have to leave. Take a hose, spray me down with ice cold water. I'm like, and I'm awake, and it's like, dude, you just threw yourself into freaking panic mode in this idea that I'm just waking myself up. Like, no, I might as well sat there and stared at TikTok or whatever it might be. You're stressing your body out, the cortisol levels and all that great happy horse shit. But
you go through the George Jetson get ready.
Yeah, that's exactly
You're
what
just on the conveyor belt, and everything's doing it for you.
God, I keep doing that. that, there's gonna be a noose on that fucking conveyor belt.
Shit, dude. We are not accepting that as a possibility.
I'm just kidding. Okay, it's a joke. But that is like that. I understand is like not a way to continue to live my life every day. I can't visualize myself as someone who's 53 years old and I'm waking up 20 minutes before I have to be at work and throwing myself in an ice cold shower to try to get my day going. It's just not the move.
Rough,
yeah, to put yourself in a place to be able to approach the world.
Yeah.
So, question number 2, boys. Do you remember the moment you realized self-criticism wasn't making you better, but rather just making you smaller? Either you gentlemen want to take us first? Because this is the first time in my life I have ever been able to say, I know the month and date and year when this actually happened for me.
I don't have an answer for this.
I mean, I can tell you, I'll be, mine's brief, because it's for me, it's every time I didn't take my own advice. Like it piggybacks off the first question for me. It's like you know, for me, like sometimes you just got to take your own fucking advice. Like you're in your own head sometimes. Like you hear all this noise from the outside, right? You got a lot of people being critical of things that maybe they created, maybe you didn't even fucking create. So now I'm thinking about being critical of myself, but am I really being critical of me, or am I being critical of the version of somebody else fucking built? You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I being critical of?
Yeah.
Like, am I fucking self-criticizing the person that, you know, is influenced by all this negative shit? You know, and you got to clear your fucking head, dude. Like, honestly, like, for me, every time I didn't sit, like, every time I said to myself, I know better. Don't do X, do this. Like, and you get to reflect and think about it. You don't do it. You know, and no matter what the situation is, you know, you keep putting yourself in that rut. But that's what I was doing. Like every time I just didn't do that simple fucking things. Like say everybody's like, oh, the voice in my head told me to listen to it some fucking times.
Yeah.
Like you realize like it goes back to like I was telling you, you build this cachet of experiences, knowledge, people, relationships, all this shit you build up over the time in your life, especially depending on how old you are. You got more volume, more cachet of things, of experiences that go back. Now you got to take action on those things. They're critical things that you have built up. Now you just have to listen to that shit. You know, over the like I said, you've been like for me, I've become that person that's stepping into a good husband, a role model, a son that, you know, makes his mom proud. I'm proud of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But you have to fucking realize that and take that advice when it happens. Like when people tell you it, like people speak life into you. You know, oh man, Derek, you're a good dude, man. You're doing a really good job doing that. And maybe he didn't realize that. Now he can be critical of that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Nobody's ever told me that I was a good motivator. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was doing any of that shit. Now, D's like in a different mind space. Like you know, those things, you just got to know who you're being critical of, yourself or the things that people built up for you. And that to me, that was tough, bro, because like you want to be, you know, that person. But then the second part of that is what changed after that. Obviously, you start to see the benefits of listening to your own advice. Like the first time I did it, I remember my wife's like, I wanted to be a barber. Like nothing against the barber community, really nothing against it. Like I wanted to be a barber. I thought it was a cool technique. I started practicing. I was cutting my brother's hair. He could tell you, I used to give him the fucking light bulb special. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I'm trying to learn how to be a barber. And like my wife's like, dude, honestly, if you want to be a barber, go for it. But Jeff, you're so much smarter than that. Like, shoot for something. Like seriously. And I'm like, but I took that in the early days. That would be an argument for us. Like, oh, here, how dare she tell me what about what I want? What about my hopes and dreams? You know? And it's like when you get mature enough to think like, damn, did somebody just really, you know, speak something into existence for you that you didn't even fathom yourself? And then I start criticizing that things. Like, you know, you sit with your thoughts and you go, wait a minute, maybe I am fucking smart. Maybe I should try to go to school. Maybe I should try something. You know what I mean? And you start to listen to that shit, you know? And for me, that's what made that change, dude. Like I started seeing the growth.
It can be.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it can be so empowering to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't inflate your ego at all. Like my sister, or like just someone who like doesn't want to just like puff you up all the time. Like, no, you didn't. There's more for you out there. There is a different path in life. You're like, oh,
Really?
what do you mean by that?
Seriously?
Yeah. So that it's interesting to see that because you could have people around who are just yes men to you for whatever reason they find convenient, but for you, you can find someone who's like has no interest in inflating you just to make you happy. They expect more from you out of that, and that's awesome. You have somebody like that, and I think we could all benefit from having somebody like that too.
100%.
For me, do I remember the time where I realized self-criticism wasn't making you better, but rather just make you smaller? Probably right now. You're probably looking at me as I realized that maybe that wasn't a good idea. So here I am. So I think going back off the discipline thing, like I think I've used self-criticism in the past as a substitute for discipline, which is just not healthy at all. It's like if I'm just hard on myself, it'll keep me sharp and I'll be able to accomplish my goals and it works. But then like when I accomplish a goal, it feels like relief and not like a success or a celebration. So like if I look at like my job, for instance, if I accomplish something I set in front of myself, usually takes a lot of I don't know, beating the shit out of myself to get there. And then when I do it, it's not like oh my God, look what I accomplished. It's like, oh, thank God that's over, you know?
Fuck, I never thought about that.
Yeah, thank God that worked out. Holy shit, you know? What would I have done if it did not work out, you know? And I beat the fucking shit out of myself along the way. And then when I fell short, it turns into, oh, you're not enough. You know, you fell short again. Maybe you just wasn't in the cards for you. Instead of like those smaller steps and understanding that like maybe it's good, like it is meant for you, but you have to work harder. You have to approach it differently. It's one of those things that just turn into like, no, you're gonna beat your shit in, and if you get there, great. It's just gonna be relief, and if you don't, well, then you probably just weren't meant for it anyway, and you accept one of those two outcomes, and that's it. And that's tough. Like that's just not it. And I think it just comes from this like core understanding of like maybe I'm afraid of failing, I think, and that's a lot of it too. So it comes from like this idea of, and we just said it, being complacent too. I think I'm afraid of being complacent. I think I'm afraid of just like being cool with being comfortable and having those, I'll sleep in. It makes me happy. It doesn't make me happy. I don't think it makes any difference in my life when I want to sleep in or avoid doing chores or any of those things. It just gets my body more riddled up with anxious bullshit. So, and it keeps me living in like this like weird paradox of fear, I think, too. Like it's something where like I don't start because I'm scared to fail, but not starting is actually the biggest failure of all. So the inaction pulls me back in the loop, and I'm like, okay, I don't really know what's going on, so like maybe I should try, but I shouldn't. And even when I do try, I feel like I'm moving forward, but like internally in my head's like, what the fuck are you actually doing? So I think with all that being said, it's one of those things where I'm just trying to remove like shame and guilt from accountability, like being okay with taking the small steps, like knowing it's not a race, that even if I come up short on something that's cool, like I'm probably doing a lot more than my past self or other people out there would even, you know, set their mind to. Like, hey, even if you just go out there and try to do it and you fucking suck, like at least you did something for yourself.
I'm coming off of what you guys both just said. I feel like every moment we hit, we have this, you know, split of pathway where you got 3 roads, and this is just me just firing off the top of the head. So I might want to journal on this a little bit more and think about it deeper. But every second we get that instant, you know, trifecta of we can follow the straight and narrow, which is what our gut is telling us. We follow the straight and narrow, the gut's telling me that's what I should be doing. Or we could veer off to one of the sides, which one of the sides is either going to be literally the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. It's the you version that's telling you, your gut doesn't know what it's talking about. You don't know what's best for you. I know what's best for you. And then that third version is the version of, what do the people around me think of who I am? What is the version of everybody who sits there and goes, this is what Zach does? What would Zach do? Dog, shut the fuck up and follow the damn gut, dude. Straight down the, you know, on the straight and narrow.
And we've talked about that before, but the differentiation between like what you think your identity would do and what your gut is telling you to do could be two different things. Like,
Yeah.
like who I am right now and what I think I should be doing maybe doesn't align with what my gut is telling me to do because I'm not aligned with my deeper self at that point.
I think that right there tells me, and I sit here and go, dude, why don't you just trust your gut? And then you go, well, what does your gut microbiome look like right now?
Yeah, what'd you have for dinner last week?
Did you give it anything to be able to?
What's that whole bag of Sour Patch Kids telling you to do? You probably shouldn't trust that guy.
Telling you to go get the BG somewhere.
Exactly what I was thinking of, man. So right then and there, it just, to me, it feels like everything mirrors off itself. So if I'm doing all those other things in life, I might have that gut microbiome that allows me to listen to my gut a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, okay, easier said than done,
It's
pal.
tough. It's like I said, though, like you get forces from the outside. Like you get all these criticisms that are bestowed upon you that you didn't even ask for sometimes. You know, like people will fucking bestow things on you didn't even ask.
And
You
that's
know?
that's what's tough for me, I think, on the criticism, the self-criticism side is that I think a lot of the time where I'm being self-critical of myself isn't about the expectations I set for myself. It's about the imaginary expectations I have set for the people around me that have never really even cared the whole time.
Who just bark from the outside.
Yeah.
And you deal with the stress. You the one at home with the thoughts at night going, fuck.
And it could be two ways. You could have that person who's putting it down on you, making you feel small because you're not reaching unobtainable goals or whatever you want it to be. But then there could be this other side of like, oh, I wonder what my girlfriend will think of me if I don't do this, this, and this. When in all reality, she never even cared.
She probably don't even give a fuck.
She didn't give a fuck
She just wants you to come home and smile and sitting on the couch.
That's it. Be
That's all.
happy to chat, tell her about your day. You know?
Making shit up.
Yep. I'm good at that.
Making shit
Yeah,
up.
I'm good at that. I love in fucking imagination land over here.
October 2019. October 2019, I remember being 27 years old and thinking in the mirror that I do not like what I am becoming. I'm miserable at work. I'm bringing it home. I'm getting larger and larger with more and more depression. What am I doing to myself?
He is large, but he is not in charge.
I am getting larger and larger and not in charge of all that large.
Whole lot of large going around.
Oh, that a
No one to
large.
wrangle it in.
So, the funny thing is as and this was what was comical. As I was getting larger and larger, I actually was feeling smaller and smaller. Because as the more and more depression, sat on, with more and more pounds came more and more depression, which meant less and less Zach and a lot more negativity. So I was able to finally find self-love in my reflection and thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing? And it wasn't easy. It was definitely a grueling self-realization. And that is something that we've talked about before on the self-love episode. But it is definitely one of those times in my life where I look back and I go, dude, what in the Sam hell are you doing right now? It's time for a change. And that change started with as simple as just walking my dog 2 times a day instead of 1. I was already basically doing that, but I started coming home at lunch and walking my dog a second time and got rid of all sugar drinks. I got rid of iced tea. Dude, that was my hardest one for me because I was a Turner's kid, like no
Big
other,
Turner's
man.
kid.
That ain't nothing but sugar and
Yeah.
It's literally, I think that's all iced tea, especially around here. Is we have like 6 different iced teas.
Read the ingredients.
It's
we love
brown sugar.
Read the ingredients.
Yeah.
We love them. I still love it. People like, I don't care.
Sugar, and maltodextrose, which is probably not good at all for you. So probably some preservatives and shit that is probably fucking me up like no other. So I got rid of those 2 things and I dropped like 30 pounds in a month. That was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And then it just went on that whole roller coaster to the point where I got all the way to 2022 and was just absolutely vibing and then just down. For some reason, that's something that I'm going back and I'm trying to find acceptance on. I have all this acceptance on all these other things, but after 2022, I don't know what happened because in 2022, I got all the way back down to being in a medium t-shirt. I was all the way back down to 185 pounds, man. And I was right where I wanted to be. And I look back and I keep going. I keep telling people, oh, I'm trying to get down to, 185. That's where I want to be for biking. And I forget. Dog, you were there 4 years ago. What are you doing sitting here with 214 right now? Like, what are you doing, dude? You were at that. How did you lose yourself when you're doing a podcast? We've been doing the podcast since, the beginning of 2023. What the hell did I lose myself on that I've now not been the version of that? Or was I not supposed to be that version? Or was I given that little tiny, spark of like, hey, bro, this is who you wanted to become. Now you've seen it. We showed you a little glimpse of it. Now you need to really calibrate yourself to lock it the fuck in to where it's your entire existence, not just a glimpse of who you could be.
Yeah, and even that glimpse, I've had that glimpse before, and it's incredibly frustrating because you're like, I was there. This could have been me the whole time, and I don't think you're supposed to be allowed to have it at that time. It's exactly what you just said. You're supposed to see that glimpse and get a taste of it and go, oh, like, that's what I could be. Like, even just, it could be a moment even like in your normal day-to-day life of, oh my God, like that, I could align with that the whole time. And then it's going to go away because that's how life works. But there is that idea of, okay, how do I get that to be an everyday situation? How can I build the habits and the discipline to do that on a daily basis? And that is the real hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you got to continue to be critical of those things. Like once you become comfortable doing it, you don't criticize it no more. But when you wanted to get to that weight, you had to criticize everything you were doing to get to that weight, right? Yeah. What am I eating? What am I doing? What are my sleeping habits? Once you get to that, you don't care about that shit no more. That shit becomes, now you moved on, you're doing something else, and that's where you slip up. And it's like, like he said, how do I get back to that? You got to get back to the criticisms that got you there. You got to go back to it.
And even self-trust. I think self-trust. That was the difference between me. Like, that was the thing. Like, if I'm living in, like, the fear-based discipline, it's going to collapse. It's going to keep me riddled with anxiety. I'm always failing. I'm always letting myself down. But there's self-trust. And, like, even when you fail, you're going to pick yourself back up and keep going. Two completely different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was writing the notes, I was thinking about a spiral staircase. And how I was just
spiral staircase too.
And I was just slowly going down that spiral staircase to hell. And I have slowly
Why can't it be a straight one? Why can't you just take me straight down? That's where I'm going anyway.
Because you have to continuously see it. You just have to, it has to just keep getting locked into your, oh, well, man, that's where it was. Not just a turnaround and look straight back up. You get to see it the entire time as you slowly rotate down.
It's like a metal grate stairs, and you're looking down the whole time so you don't miss a stair, and all you see is hell.
Yep.
All the brimstone.
Give me that joint Mr. Burns had in his crib. You ever watch The Simpsons? He just hit the switch and it turned into a slab.
Yep.
Just hit the switch like Burns. You want me? Let me go down. Fuck it. You know what I mean, bro? Don't let me slowly walk into this bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Emperor's New Groove type of style.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, I think that was question number 3. Or question number 2. We're moving on to question number 3. Read your numbers correctly there, pal.
Big number guy.
Big number guy. Big number guy. How do you know the difference between taking responsibility and beating yourself up? Where have you fallen into the trap of shame? And for me, gentlemen, taking responsibility is doing what is needed done. Beating myself up is stressing that my needs are the only priority and that I never get a chance to do my wants. That was the way I took the beating myself up, because the beating myself up only comes when I sit there and go, well, I did all these fucking things, but not a goddamn thing for myself. and you just get chapped ass, dude. The worst chapped ass ever.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the feeling.
Vaseline ain't helping that chap.
that tight chap.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was me. I have to, I also have to question, as much as I can sit here and go, hey, man, really super words. You sound incredibly intelligent. What, psychology or something? I have to be so bluntly honest that I have not fully locked this in. I can sit here and go, yeah, sure. I can see the difference between these two, but am I living it? Fuck no, because I'm not. And that is one thing that is, where it takes us into this trap of shame.
Yeah.
I could allow myself right now to sit here and go, hey, jackass, you have the fucking answers to the test. Why can't you put the correct answer on the line where it's supposed to go? You have the answers. Here's the test. Put the answers on the test. And I could beat myself up over and over again, thinking that I have all the answers and that the test is right. But here's the funny thing. I'm in math class right now, and I think it's reading class. So I have all the answers to the wrong test.
I've actually probably done that before. That was back in English where our teacher, like, he knew we were just copying each other's homework, so he slipped us the 4 different tests one time.
Okay.
And we all just cheated, and we all failed. And he went, gotcha.
Got him.
He
Got him.
just told y'all straight up.
Yeah, he's like, you
Gotcha,
fucking, are we done here? You guys done doing that thing now?
Because I got a 6-piece that'll fuck this up
You
even more.
guys plan on graduating this year? I'm like, ooh, shit. Historically big shame guy over here. Have you watched Game of Thrones? You haven't watched
All
Game
the
of
way
Thrones.
through and through.
There's a scene in Game of Thrones. I should watch it again. It's just sad the way it ended. It's
Terrible. It's fucking
It's
terrible.
not good. It looked cool. It just didn't end well.
He said it looked cool.
Oh, cool. Bunch of production. There's a scene, Cersei, she I think is like she slept with someone she shouldn't have or whatever. So like
Pick a season.
she's a queen. Yeah. Fuck, exactly.
I'm just
It's the truth, bro. It's the truth. I'm pretty sure she did that every
Somebody
season.
slept with somebody.
But eventually she
See?
really slept with someone she
Yeah.
shouldn't have. And I guess there was the punishment of like the walk of shame where she walked through
Oh,
the town
yeah, yeah.
and everyone's
Shame.
ringing, and then like the woman's
bell.
walking the bell.
Yeah.
Shame.
She's naked.
Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's they're throwing fruit at her and freaking. That's like me every day.
Damn.
It feels like it historically. Now
Yeah.
we've gotten better recently, but like I think for me, realizing the difference is like again looking at accountability and all that stuff. Accountability for me is the healthy way, and it's the option that's going to correct your behavior. And shame is the one that's just attacking who I am at my core, which the actions that you maybe were weak on my end, and I can differentiate that they weren't truly a part of me. Just because I did something weak doesn't make me weak. So like understanding that like I don't have to feel shame in failing, because if I am just, again, like we talked about discipline, doing the right things every day and staying motivated and trusting myself, then everything will fall into place. But the shame just attacking your identity on a daily basis just eats you up, dude. It doesn't protect you. It's something that I feel like, if anything, the shame is like trying to control uncertainty for me. Like, it's just like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know where this is going. So if I just like keep getting hard on myself all the time, then eventually, hopefully I'll end up where I am. And if not, then I'll just keep fucking shaming myself until I do. And that sucks, because like it turns into the voice of, oh, you always end up doing this, or you always end up this way, or here we go again. And then like it turns into just like Brandon always talked about the negative self-talk and the dude, it's like negative affirmations. Like, could you wake up in the mirror and like I'm trying to like write down something? It's like, okay, I'm a being of peace. I live in love. I'm gonna have a great day. Say it like 10 times. It's like, no, I'm gonna fuck something up. Probably not gonna do this right. Holy fuck. Okay, let's go. It's just like,
the reverse motivation.
the reverse motivation. You're just like, what are you doing, dude?
I'm fuck it up today.
Yeah, and instead of correcting my behavior, I just make myself feel bad about it, and that it sucks, dude. And like that's the going back to living in fear situation. A lot of this theme that I'm coming into, where I'm trying to correct all this stuff, is like trying to get out of the living in fear. Living in fear, I won't do it right, or I won't do it right the third time, or I'll let someone down, and it's not the movement. I think it's more focusing on the real accountability, where it's like my actions, not my identity. My identity will be built off of my actions. So if I just start with the actions, then I will become more in tune with myself.
Do you know the thing that's fucking me up right now is I feel like I use the shame as a procrastination tool.
Yeah, oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. That's the best one.
Yeah.
It's the best one.
You're
You're just laying on the couch, you have like 6 you're like, oh, I'm so fat and lazy. and then you just keep playing. At least I got it out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, dude. And like it's about building up self-confidence too, though. It's a little bit of like, no, you know what? Last time I felt bad about myself, I said, fuck it, I'm going to go do something about it. I'm going to. And then you think about that and the way it made you feel as opposed to the way shaming yourself made you feel, because you can discern those two feelings pretty quickly. Like, even if you do something small that you were putting off and you accomplish it and that's all you do all day, you can go, man, I feel pretty good about that. But the other one is, I'm a fat tub of lard. I'm getting bigger and bigger, and I'm feeling smaller and smaller, you know? But it's a good way to just, like, convince yourself that, like, that's your identity. And that identity then equals procrastination or putting off your true goals or your true self.
Yeah, I think about perfect example for me was actually this weekend, and it was funny. I came home Friday and I was running around trying to get everything done in the house because I wanted to spend my entire Sunday working on the, campaign that we're building, and I wanted to do a bunch of recording yesterday. Yeah, none of that recording or stuff. I got a lot done. I actually stepped into crypto yesterday, taught myself a bunch. I was real excited about that. So I did something that I had been wanting to do for a while of finally investing and whatnot. Super excited, and I was proud and pumped about that. So Friday, I come home and I'm like kind of a little on edge with Anastasia because she doesn't want to do all the things that I want to do right now of clean up and get the laundry all done and have the house ready, So I wake up on Saturday with a clear mind. Zachary wakes up and feels like he can be creative because the house is clean now. And I'm looking at her going, what the fuck you sitting on the fucking recliner for? And she goes, I'm taking a fucking break. And I said, we don't get any breaks. We got to get this stuff done.
He done turned it into the house into a union cleaning job.
No breaks.
No breaks. We don't get no breaks. We got to get this done. You haven't been here for the past how many weekends? I've had all this thrown onto me. And she goes, Zachary, I'm off this weekend. So all that shit, you can go do whatever the fuck you want to do. I'll take care of cleaning up the house. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. And I sit there and go, then it's not good enough.
Living with Zach will probably have me pick up smoking cigarettes again, so I get that 10-minute break. I'm like, no, I do.
Hey, I need to go fire up.
What are you doing? I'm like, hey, it's union stated. I get 2 cigarette breaks per cleaning the house shift. Just not even smoking it, just standing outside.
So yeah, she hit me with the, I'm home tomorrow and can do all this type of stuff. And I think the one thing of it though is I do have to remember that I have a partner who can help me on a Saturday and take care of that type of stuff. But I'd be lying if I didn't secretly want her to want to like do the things with me. If I didn't secretly want her to like get involved and be that, that hand on the other side of the beanho board because I'm cooking with inspiration and I just want to do it right now. And she's here, So I'd be lying if I didn't say that I secretly didn't want her to have to do those things on Saturday so that it opened up that possibility of her walking over into the studio here and being like, so what are you working on? Is there anything I could help you out with?
Yeah.
Is there anything I could, do with you? I'd like to see what you're working on. And so that is that, shame of, am I really procrastinating right now by worrying about doing all of this cleaning on a Friday night when I could actually, slowly be doing the cleaning on Friday night? Yeah, chunk a couple things off, but I could have that happy balance of thinking about what I'm going to be doing Saturday, not run myself all the way up until it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night on a Friday. And you're like, dog, it's now time to go to bed. And you haven't even processed what you might want to accomplish tomorrow. So now you're waking up Saturday and now you're going to have to take the processing time to even get the software ready to start creating, bro. We don't turn the frickin', this ain't instant gratification. This ain't instant creation all the time, man. It takes time to get those juices cooking and flowing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Absolutely.
How about yourself, sir? What's the difference between taking responsibility and beating the shit out of yourself?
For me, honestly, like you develop that sense of like, for me, taking responsibility is staying true to who I am as a person. Like that, like what he just got into, like what you guys gotta get into. Like you start doing things, it ain't you. And then you realize like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, for me, that's taking responsibility for me is the things that I know I need to take care of for me that make me fucking right. You know, like, you know, the analogy, you know what I'm talking about? And like living a life of service, being a role model for my brother, being a good husband. Like that's the shit. Like for me, that's, you know, handling my responsibilities as a person, as a man. You know what I mean? And where I beat myself up for me personally is just when I dwell on the past, like who I used to be, you know, opportunities that you lose, like things that you can't fucking control. You know what I mean? Like you sometimes like those things, you know, change the way you think. And if you can't get that mindset wrapped around trying to be the person, like focusing on who you are, like for me, like I said, that's taking responsibility. But then like when you start dwelling and reminiscing on old things, like a lot of times you reminisce and you go down a rabbit hole of what I should have, could have, would have, and then you start shaming yourself. You know what I'm saying? And, excuse me, that's where the shame comes in for me. It's like you think about things and you go, fuck, why didn't I just do that? What if I did that? Maybe I would have been this, or maybe I could have ended up doing that. And it's like now you're starting to shame yourself and not being grateful for what you do have. You know what I mean? And there's some part of being accountable as an adult growing up to be like responsible for what you have versus what you want. And like we kind of talked about that last time, like you know, wants and needs, but like at the same time, it's like, you know, knowing the difference between handling your responsibilities and beating yourself up. For me, it lies right there with what you can let go and what you can grow from. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like it's like fuck what you or whoever think my responsibility is. I know what it is. It's staying true to me and fucking not letting outside forces or anything take me off the path of being that person who I'm trying to grow into. And, you know, I don't want to shame myself no more for being the person that I'm growing into. And that's part of it for me is like handle your responsibilities, you know, that come with being a good husband. There's a lot of, you can dichotomize that shit if you want to.
Yeah.
Like good husband, good role model, good son. It all has a bunch of, you know, but that's where I strive to be, man. Honestly, like for me, that's how I tell the difference. Am I handling my business, which is doing what I need for me, or are you dwelling again, bro? You reminiscing and shaming yourself for shit that you can't change, shit that you can't do nothing about, bro. Just growth mindset, move forward.
How do you have any ways of starting to realize, like if we have the list of what is or what Jeff has or what Jeff is versus what Jeff is not, how do you allow yourself to start pulling those things off of the one list and put them on this is Jeff Nomo?
It's the experiences. Like I'll give you a perfect example. When you get into things like certain things that happen to you in your life, you can choose to put it in like I call a good cachet or a bad cachet. Like you can keep negative thoughts or negative memories or whatever the case may be, and you have to keep it. And like if you can, like again, we talked about that. If you can reflect on those moments, like for me, it's pulling from the experiences. That's how I can decipher, okay, have I gone through this before? If I haven't, am I going to learn something from this? You know, should I be open-minded to this? And then, you know, are there any vulnerabilities that could allow me to fail through doing that? Because like, I mean, everything has some vulnerabilities, but that's how I kind of, you know, sway it. Like it's the experience. Like if I don't have no experience with something, like I'll do a deep dive. I'll fucking, you know, I'll go down a rabbit hole because I've been burnt before. Yeah. So like, you know how like you said, like certain things you can put in this group, and if you get burnt from it, like you learn from it. Like that's just for me, like it's just experiences, dude, and how people treat me. That's how I group it together. You know what I mean? Building that cachet of the experiences, relationships, all of it. Yeah,
the biggest thing I've realized for myself was taking that time to reflect. And it's not so easy to do.
No.
Here's the thing, it's not easy to do, but it's when you do it enough, like it's easy for me to say because I can sit here and talk to you for 2 hours of how many times I didn't get to do that and it went the wrong way. And I mean, it could have went the wrong way yesterday, but like I said, it's just the experiences. Like I've been in so many altercations with people when people get loud or like to argue, and like you can see what, you know, where this goes. Like that's it. It's all about cachet of experience. Like you have to go through things. Like there's certain things you're never gonna be able to do. You have, like I said, if you have no experience on it, you don't have a chance to deep dive into it. There's nothing you could do about it. You're gonna crash and burn, dude. You have to fail to learn, like to get the cachet of what. Okay, hot, don't touch. You know what I mean? Like it sounds simple, but like people don't do it, and I've done it. I've done enough fucking up in my life, dude, to know, like, even when you can't reflect, you got to pull from something. You got to think before you do shit. Like I've been burnt so many times where I can't tell you how many times I've not think before I do something, and then you get to think afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, you think afterwards while you sit in a fucking cold jail cell eating a banana this big and a bag lunch, and you fucking calling somebody, hey, come get me, come get me, come get me, come get me. You know, you learn enough from fucked up shit like that. You know, you learn enough. Trust me, bro. You learn enough. Like if you can't reflect enough, you go through enough stupid ass shit, enough experiences where you get fucked, you'll learn to think before you do shit. Like and it becomes easier. I'm telling you. Like I mean, like I said, I could talk to you for 2 hours about the things that I've experienced in my life, dude.
Yeah.
That you just, it's ingrained in your memory. Like you just, even when it's hard to, you pull from experience, dude. You have to. You just, if you can't, and that's it. If you don't have the experiences, you got to go get rocked.
I'm constantly asking myself, what is this showing me right now? That's like the biggest question in my life now, because I've gotten to a place where, and I want to tell anybody in my entire existence, if you're not allowing yourself to be open to that spectrum of just everything, and allowing yourself to be this open-minded person who's going to say, like, I'm going to approach everything with the same mindset. What the fuck is this trying to show me? What is this trying to teach me? What is it? What am I supposed to learn from this? What am I gaining from this? What am I going to look back on and go, oh man, I am grateful for being given that lesson. You know, you can go through some horrible, horrible shit and then turn around and go, phew, I am so grateful that I now know these are the telltale signs that that type of, existence is coming. And I can see those, little markers, those little checkpoints along the way of, oh shit, checkpoint number 1 just hit. Where's checkpoint number 2?
But then you got to act on it. You got to divert immediately. That's the biggest thing, is like we all fall into traps. He even mentioned earlier where you getting ready to do it. You know you're getting ready to do it, and you fucking do it anyway. Like you
because you haven't suffered the consequences
right,
yet. And now, not only that, I have found that if you don't make that change, now your consequences are compounding. So now, like, maybe you got away with it. Now you got away with it, and you keep going down that line or whatever it is. When eventually you're gonna get burnt,
when it
it's
the
fucking the king of all burns, bro. You're getting that. It ain't just the Indian burn on your arm you got when you were 10 years old, dude. It's 4-alarm fire type shit, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just not the way to live, man. And
it's Harvey Dent, burnt face.
Right. Yeah, you're walking around two-faced.
Yeah.
You're making decisions flipping a coin.
Yeah.
But you know what though? But those are the things that you can criticize a lot. Though you talk about I don't know if I can say it again.
Criticism.
Self-Christ.
Self-chrisms. Self-chrisms.
Merry Christmas.
When you criticize
Merry
yourself,
Christmas.
that's just it. Look, you're making me lose my train of thought. But that's just it, though. Like, you got to criticize those moments and grow from them. If you can't, like...
Someone else will do it for you.
Right. Oh, 100%. Like, how many times have somebody else told you, you telling you something about what you did, and you think about it and you go, fuck. Like, in retrospect, I probably could have did that a little better. Probably should have. Fuck it.
And even the outside accountability at that point, like, is maybe something you need to hear. But again, you're not going to change based off that. You're going to have to make a decision and be honest with yourself. And that's where the honesty, I think, still comes back into play. Is they can tell you that. You can go, yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. But like, if you're truly honest with yourself, as quickly as you can be honest with yourself as possible in those moments is the most beneficial thing you could do.
Yeah, I think you have to, for me, myself, I think I have to become the most athletic goldfish there ever was. And the reason why I say the most athletic goldfish there ever was is because goldfish have the shortest mind, they forget things the quickest. Their mind retention is the shortest. So they say, and it was on Ted Lasso, be a goldfish, because you forget about what just happened to you so fast. But I need to be the most athletic goldfish ever. And I have to be so athletic in what you were just talking about of being able to see those checkpoints and deter. I have to become the most pivotable person possible. So I have to constantly be able to hit that, mark and go, nope, that was the wrong way we're going. Pivot.
Yeah,
Whoop, oh,
you gotta
nope,
set some
hit that
points on-
pivot. And I'm
spend
just,
some points on the agility on your creative player.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
we need
Everybody
to-
wants
hey,
to build up the strength. Everybody wants to build up the speed.
me
But
get my
where's the
awareness.
agility? Where's
Yeah.
that mobility?
Yeah,
Shit, I never
exactly.
thought about the awareness. What the fuck is that going to do for me?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't need to be aware.
It's a video game. I am aware. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, yeah, that's tough. I think one thing I want to mention too is just because you are currently something doesn't mean that you are always destined to be that, and just because you aren't currently something doesn't mean that's not something that's supposed to be a part of who you're going to become too. Like you're allowed to pick from those pockets and say this is no longer serving me, that goes over there, and actually I kind of like this one, let me bring this back over to who I actually want to be. And even your actions, like I have that hard time of thinking because I did something that comes off again weak or something like that doesn't mean that I am weak. If anything, if I acknowledge it and think through it and process it and try to work through it, that even further removes me from that being a part of who I am. So like it doesn't, when I fail, it doesn't mean that's like a part of my identity. And that's, again, the difference I'm trying to discern is if I fuck up, it doesn't mean that I am a fuck up. It just means that you acknowledge that that is not something that serves you and you move on from it. And if you have to suffer the consequences, I hope not, but you probably do in some instance.
But
If
sometimes
that's
it's
between
good,
you or hopefully not someone else. Hopefully the only consequences you face is a little self-talk with yourself and a, hey, man, we got to figure this out
don't
before
do that again.
Yeah, before someone else gets pulled into your bullshit.
Do you think that there's more weight on the self-awareness or the calibrating? So first you have the self-awareness that is not who I am, but it's who I want to become. And now you have to calibrate yourself to become that. Do you think the awareness has more weight or allowing yourself to calibrate into that version of yourself?
It's all about action. You have to the calibration, the action is the goal. That's where there's more weight, and that's the harder part though. Like that's the thing. I talked about that in a previous episode. I can look at myself as cursed in the sense that I am pretty fucking self-aware about all of the things that I am doing that probably don't align with the version of myself that I strive to be. But if I choose to be too lazy to move forward, then I'm just living in that loop of, okay, well, I know that I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to keep doing it, and now here I am, and man, do I feel bad. That doesn't do anything. So like that, I guess, well, now that you said it, that does carry a different weight. It could be just as heavy. It's probably the difference between 100 pounds of shit and 100 pounds of gold. They're both just as heavy.
Yeah.
It's just what are you choosing to live with?
Yeah. Yeah. How much, what's the volume of that 100 pounds?
Yeah, 100 pounds of feathers is different than 100 pounds of shit.
Yeah.
You probably still want the feathers, though.
Yeah. It's a really big chicken.
Yeah. It's like,
It's like, which one weighs more? I don't give a fuck.
well, the thing is they weigh the same.
Well, that's usually the question, though. Which one weighs more? Like, I don't give a fuck. I want the feathers. I don't even give a fuck where you going with this question. I know they weigh the same. I don't want no shit. Fucking asshole.
So as we talk about the weight of the awareness and then the calibrating of yourself with the acceptance, and we talk about procrastination being something that absolutely stops us from being able to start that calibrating, that would lead us into question number 4. What tools, practices, or people have helped you begin to shift from self-hate to self-healing? And for myself was finally locking in the concept that I am not just this one version. I'm not just Zach. I am just Zach, but I'm also not just Zach. And what I mean by that is Zach is one entity that's right in front of you, but Zach is spirit, Zach is body, Zach is mind. There's different aspects of what make up me. I'm this very elaborate, complex puzzle. Every single one of us is an elaborate, complex puzzle. We're not just one piece. So allowing myself to sit there and realize that I am not just one piece, I am actually this overall, conglomerate of myself. I can then sit there and go, there are going to be pieces of the puzzle that might get a little frayed or deteriorated over time, and I might have to replace those. And I might have to move on. And, I want my puzzle to not be where its, borders are already defined. I want my puzzle to be, kind of borderless. So if that means that I start building out the puzzle over to this way because, oh man, this is really what's exciting me right now, I'm really enjoying that, then I'm going to allow myself to add those puzzle pieces that way. That for me was what has allowed me to change that from that self-hate of just hating, thinking that I had these borders and that I was stuck inside of this frame or labels, get in the box. I didn't want to be that version that was just, held in some type of container. I wanted to be this expression, this expansion, this growth, all this fancy shit. So why am I going to sit here and say I have to be inside that frame? I don't have to be inside that frame if I don't choose to. So that is one of the pieces for me of a tool of allowing myself to realize that, hey, I got a gut. That's going to tell me, you got a gut feeling right now, man. That's what you should be doing. I got a mind that might come back and go, yeah, but when we did it this time, this is what happened. Yeah, but when you didn't do it that way and you did it this way, that's what happened. And so I can sit here and just, go down that, what I've talked about of my mind being literally an LA highway, and you got 8 cars going this way and 8 cars going that way. And I'm sitting there analyzing that cachet that I can't clean that cachet out, man.
Can't clear it.
I'm having such a hard time cleaning some of those things out of that cachet that I don't want anymore, that I don't need to say, oh, does this play in at all?
Yeah.
That piece of me who I'm no longer, I no longer align with, does that play into this at all? No. Fuck that shit, man. And that comes from the self-realization. That comes from the journaling, the meditating. But, I kind of want to do meditation in a little bit of a different way, nowadays. I want to look at it a different way. I'm still trying to grow when it comes down to meditating. I think that meditating is something that we do on the bike. I sit there and think like, oh, I got to be in this yoga pose like our guy on the Ascension logo. No, dude. Meditation can come from so many different places and from so much different stimulation. You could be painting and get stimulated. You could be painting and get stimulated. You could be doing Legos and it be, feeling that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the journaling, meditating, personal self-reflection, but it was reminding myself that I'm not this framed in puzzle. I'm a borderless puzzle.
I love it. Yeah, I won't elaborate too much. I think for me, it's all stuff I've hit on already. So, again, if I'm going to build myself up in acceptance of who I am and continue to grow, it takes a bunch of honesty, like radical honesty. Like, hey, dude, like you can, and that's tough to sit there and really, truly, lay it out on line, say it out loud. Because even if it's running through your head, sometimes I have to just say shit out loud. Like, I have to give it power to the universe and say, if it's just sitting in here all the time, sometimes I'll just go hey, dude, that's and I'll be walking to work. And again, a little bit of shame maybe. So I got to try to work on that. But it's all right, dude, you just did it again. You did it again. You are better than that. So it's probably a little mix of both, but it's radical honesty on the times you slipped up where you're trying to hold yourself accountable and you didn't. The reflection for sure, and not the spiraling. The spiraling the reflection allows you to step away from this spiral staircase to hell. So if you're taking a chance to look in the mirror and really figure out where you are destined to be, then you're not so much going down that spiraling staircase where if it's no reflection and you're just living in the Groundhog Day loop over and over again, well, there's probably no reflection on how you got there or how the hell you're going to get out. It's just I'm just going to keep waking up and living the same fucking day all over and over and over and over again. Another thing I hit on already was the conversations with people who don't inflate you. I love my girlfriend. She has no interest in telling me oh, hey, good job. Hey, you're doing great. She will when when I'm doing things, but she knows there's so much more out there for me in any instance. I mean, again, I'm proud of her. She's proud of me. We've come a long way in our lives, in our relationship, whatever it might be. But she has no interest in being easy on me when I've set a standard for myself. You know, if it's something as short as like last week, I'm like, I'm deleting all the social media off my phone. I got to reset before we move, blah, blah, blah. And then like 4 days later, I was working on Saturday at the arena, sitting there doing nothing at a table for 4 hours, immediately re-downloaded Instagram and just scrolling on my phone. And she sent me a video. I don't think she was testing me, but she did go like, that didn't last long. I'm like, I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
you sent me that video so you know I would look at it, because that's all. I mean, literally, it's just her. Like, you send me some stuff maybe once in a while. She'll send me stuff all the time. And that's the only reason I really keep it nowadays. I don't post shit on
I just don't know how active
Instagram.
you are. I'll send you a ton of shit. You want to be active?
No,
man.
I don't. I'm about to, honestly, it's February 1st, probably deleting that shit again until I move. I got a month till I move. I got 4 clean weeks to try to work through it. Today's day 1. We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Nice.
That being said, so like that, and then like going back to the I did something weak compared to I am weak, like that differentiation I think needs to click more with me. Like, just because I failed doesn't mean I am weak. It's probably strong for me to acknowledge that I have failed and still want to persevere, still want to move forward, and the growth is going to come through action and follow through, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean that if I'm healing, I have to become softer. It just means I have to become more honest with myself.
How do you make sure, now knowing what you know, that you don't allow that self-realization to become the self-hate?
Yeah.
Like, and now that you have this, thought process and whatnot, how do you allow yourself those little pockets where you don't, being really hard with yourself?
Yeah.
How do you allow that to not tip the scale over to shame? But it's a motivator. It's an empowerer.
Yeah.
It doesn't go over to what could be looked at as a negative.
Yeah. I mean, like, motivation's like I don't know. It is a key factor, but I think my motivation's going to come off momentum. So like the momentum, so if we go motivation, momentum, where does momentum come from? I think that comes off of positive reinforcement, exactly what you just said. So if I am going to set myself goals of like, here's what I want to accomplish over the next week or month or whatever, just like this, and I'm trying to kind of cleanse myself a bit over the next 4 weeks. Yeah, like, did I go back and slip out last week? I said, I'm just deleting these fucking apps and doing it. Like, did I feel incredibly guilty about it? No, I'm fine. I'll be okay. But like, next time I do, like, okay, you did it last time. It's cool. This time, let's approach it a little bit differently. Like, you're good for this. And just like it's just a little pep talk, dude. A pep talk can be good. You always fucking fall for this. You're just a weak piece of shit. It's just not getting you anywhere. And you're going to eventually, honestly, that self-talk leads you back into weakness, and or the negative self-talk leads you back into weakness, and chances are that shame is just going to get you to fuck up again anyway. The shame is like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll shame myself into doing this. Well, maybe you will, but most likely what you're going to do is go back to the same failure you resulted in again. You're going to fold again. Yeah, shame-related accountability is just going to make you fold, where like self-trust-related accountability is going to get you to be okay if you fail and eventually move forward to the point where you've actually transformed.
How does the song go? Shake it once, it's okay. Shake it 2 times, you're playing with yourself.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Real simple.
Something like that. Yeah.
So, if I shake myself up and think about the fact of like, okay, I've already done this once, bud, what are you doing? But now if I keep shaking myself every time, now I'm playing with myself. And we're playing a game in a loop that I don't want to be.
What are you doing
on.
over there? I'm fucking playing with myself.
Hey, man, I'm jiggling.
I'm jiggling. Leave me alone.
I'm playing with my emotions over here.
Yeah.
How about yourself, big dog?
Hey, look, it's real simple for me. It kind of goes like piggybacking off of what D was saying a little bit. Like, having those people in your life, you know what I mean? You never know. Like, for me, it's people. And I think about, like, early on in my life, obviously, like, my mom, everybody's parents at some point aspire them to be great. Like, nobody's parents goes, oh, I want my kid to be a piece of shit,
Yeah.
But, like, that's the early, for me, like, my mom. But, like, currently, like, my wife, dude, like, she's my cheerleader, dude. Like, honestly, like, she speaks life into me all the time. Like, I mentioned it earlier, you know what I mean? She's always telling me, you should do this. You could be better at that. Don't settle for this. And, like, it's like kind of what you were saying. Like, you could have somebody easily say to you, oh, that a boy. But it's different when it comes from a person who don't care about, the soft shit. She's going to be tough on you, all of it. Like, hey, not just when you're doing something that's, but everything, you know what I mean? And for me, like, my wife, dude, like, she's somebody who, like I said, always pushed me to be who I am, like, always got me to see, for me, that helped me heal, because, like, the person who I was, bro, that just person who's just, I don't want to elaborate too much, but
Yeah.
a bum.
Yeah.
I'll call it that, a bum. She helped me see that. Like you're not a bum, bro. Like you're not just somebody who did this in the past, or did these hurtful things to people, or did this or did that. You're actually a good person, and he's in there. But it takes for somebody to speak life into that person. Like, you know what I mean? Like you get that. And like I always say, like, you don't realize like what having a cheerleader, like, and this don't work for everybody, but for me, having a cheerleader like my wife saying things to me like, you're smart, dude. You can be better. Like, you don't have to let your past define you. You don't have to let everything that you dealt with back then, let it be the future. You can move on from this. You can be a better person on the other side of this. And like, it's hard when all you know is the bullshit. Like, all you know is you've never been critical of nothing but, like I said, the person who everybody told you were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it takes somebody that really loves you to be like, you're not that person. Like, you truly are this person. Let me show you. Let me speak it into you. Let me help you realize that you're not a bum. Like, you're a good person. Like, you have the potential to be a good husband. You make your mom proud. Like, make your brothers, look at you and go, that's my role model. That's my big bro.
Yeah.
Be that person that they lean in on when they need shit. Like, I will tell you, like, all my brothers call me. I can group him in, too. And D, he can call me at fucking any time in the day or night. That's how I am. I'm that kind of bro. Like, I love taking care of my family, being there for my bros. Like, but my wife helped me see that you are that person. The person that everybody looks to and leans on and wants to talk to. And she's like, Jeff, you're always like the life of the room, no matter where you are. And it's like, I don't see that shit. I'm just being me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. Like, my wife, she always used to tell me, healed people can heal people, Jeff. Like, you get your shit right, and like, you can be a good person and you could help heal other people. And that's where I'm at in my life right now, trying to be a good person, but piggybacking off of her speaking that life into me, like letting me be that cheerleader. That's it's huge if you get the right one. I'll just tell you that. Like, the person who know you and truly know you, not just like you said, they telling you to do some silly shit. Oh, you should really draw. I don't fucking draw. I drew like 2 characters. Like, you talking about I should draw. You don't fucking know me. You about to motivate me to do some bullshit. Yeah, man.
I made one caricature at the Applebee's on a napkin.
Yeah, you telling me I should be an artist. Like, I don't think so. It's being true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, you're actually this person. I see it. I know it. Let me show you. And like, I'll tell you, I know I talk about my wife a lot, dude, but she's been instrumental in my development, my growth. Like, a lot of the things that I broke out of, like, she's been, the tool for that. You know what I mean? I thank her all the time for that shit. Like, she know it. Yeah. I don't let her not know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, we've had the what are the tools and practices? Okay, so we've sat there and now we've told everybody these are the things that I try to use to answer this next question.
Oh, yeah.
When you look in the mirror today, who do you see? How different is that reflection from the version of you who was still stuck in self-rejection? Dog, man, for me.
Where do you come up with this shit? I read this question, I'm like, I don't think I want to answer this one.
No, and I'll take it.
I'm halfway there. Like, I'm halfway there with what I feel. But you know what I mean? I think, it takes time. Like, that's a good question, but I think we've all kind of like tapped into it today. Like, we all kind of got a foundation of what this question is kind of asking. You know what I mean?
I think this question is one of those questions for especially this episode is a seed planter. I think this is like, this question plants a seed that makes you start to go, okay, I'm going to look at myself tomorrow in the mirror I'm going to have to ask this question. I'm going to see myself when I brush my teeth tomorrow. Fuck, now this question is in my reality.
You ever not look at yourself in the mirror? You ever been so down on yourself that you just decide to not look in the mirre?
Damn, that's deep. No, I don't think I've ever been that deep.
Yeah.
That's deep, bro.
I go in to brush my teeth, I'm like, I don't want to look at myself.
You brushing like this, bro.
I've done that.
Wow. Yeah, that is deep.
Yeah, it sucks.
That is deep
It's a very
because
shitty feeling.
Hey, man, you want a hug? Come on, man.
I'm good. No, I'm all right. Fuck you. I don't want your fucking hug.
and that
could have been a beautiful moment, you know?
want your fucking hug.
I have to say the grace that I give myself when I look in the mirror is what is my answer to this one now.
Hell yeah.
Because I have been someone who, and I will never comprehend or understand this. I do not feel like my life, whether I look back on everything now, having this personal self-realization, I look back on my life and think that I should never have had these types of thoughts inside my head ever, because what did I really have that would justify them? And the fact of what I'm talking about is I have thought before, and I think there might be other people out there, that's why I share this, man, a bullet in my head would just make this so much easier right now. And not in the sense of like, okay, how would I actually, this is the piece of the puzzle. I have never physically like gone through the steps of like getting to the place of where you would actually be able to accomplish these types of thoughts. But the fact that I've ever had those types of thoughts is what upsets me in terms of something, which was my question to number one, which was letting go. The fact of, I sit here now and I'm kind of beating myself up from time to time when I look in the mirror and think to myself, dude, why did you ever think that way? Like, why, even if it was just for that, just a second, why did those things come up, man? You had no reason to feel that way. That goes down a whole nother rabbit hole that I don't ever want to talk about of, where our world and nanotechnology and all kind of craziness could play into the fact of psychology, because that's my biggest thing, man. Psychology can be used against us so easily, and our brain is so fickle. And that is why, my answer to the last question was allowing myself to remove my brain as being just Zach, allowing myself to remove that spirit as being a part of Zach, and allowing myself to see my body as being these pieces of myself. So if my mind's trying to plague me right now, I can go back and sit there and go, yeah, but my soul and spirit right now is like, yo, mind, I think you're fucked up right now, bro. And that to me it's the grace that I give myself when I look in the mirror now versus I was not giving myself any grace back in the day. And I probably am someone who brushed my teeth without looking at myself in the mirror before and just didn't even realize it because I wasn't taking any opportunity to give myself any kind of peace or compassion, self-love in any way, shape, or form. I was constantly sitting in that I'm not worthy.
That depression rut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor me.
Yeah. Oh, poor me.
And you start to go down a rabbit hole real quick, man.
I'm the victim. Call me Eeyore. No. So, you got anything to throw in on this big dog?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm at the point where I previously had no clue what I wanted from myself as far as like what growth looks like just in my identity. And now I do. And while I'm not out of like the self-rejection type stage fully, I think it's a consistency type thing. I think that's where I struggle the most, is just consistently every day waking up and like being cool with who I am, being at peace with that. And I think looking in the mirror today, like I just have to find a good middle ground of like not getting too low on the lows or too high on the highs, or like coming up and like it's like the last day. I've been so busy this week. Like I woke up and I had I told Doe, I said, you ever hear me playing Kanye West at full volume in the shower? I'm having a manic episode. Like I am fucking 3 sheets though.
Which album?
Yeah, I was Pablo, dude. Life of Pablo is my favorite Kanye album. So I love Pablo.
You banging that in the shower.
Yeah. So like I'm like, dude, I was just like like all over the place. But it's like that is just not a good place to be consistently. Damn. It's probably just the nature of probably not so much what we're talking about, just the nature of what my week entailed. That being said, I think it's a little bit of like being cool with looking at myself in the mirror and like that. It's that brutal honesty that I talked about earlier. Like I have to be brutally honest with myself, because if I'm not looking in the mirror while I'm brushing my teeth, I'm definitely hiding from something. I am truly hiding from something, and I even know what I'm hiding. I'm just using that as like the visual interpretation of how I am dealing with it at that point, and that sucks. And I think moving forward, like again, the old version of me didn't want to, or didn't have an idea of where, my actions were taking me or where I was going. And now I do have that idea. And while I'm not executing it consistently, it's okay. And it doesn't mean like that I've arrived or anything. It just means like I'm okay with seeing myself in the clearest vision possible. Like, that acceptance isn't like, oh, okay, like, here I am, like I'm here. This is who Derek is. Like, no, it's just like seeing myself for myself and where I currently am, being okay with that, and then trying to build that up every day so I don't have those moments where I can't look at myself in the mirror anymore.
I fuck with that, man.
Hell yeah, bro.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Mhm.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I can't really add much to that.
No.
And I really can't hit you with any questions out of that one,
I
dude. That
appreciate
was
that.
that was
Yeah.
money in the bank, dog.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Like for me, when I look in the mirror, I see a man I'm proud of, and I can say, sometimes, like I put that in air quotes.
Yeah, I
most
got you.
most of the time. I mean, like I said, when I look in the mirror, I'm okay. I mean, I'm a person who takes care of his responsibilities. We talked about that. What that means to me. You know what I mean? That's being a good husband, a good role model for my brother, a good son, and a caregiver. I take care of people for a living, dude. I wear that as a badge. My patients will tell you they fucking love me, dude. I do that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like for me, like when I'm proud of that person, honestly, like, and it's night and day from who I used to be. Like when I didn't never not look in the mirror, you know what I mean? That's, but I maybe, like you said, maybe I have and just didn't notice it metaphorically. You get so self-loathing that you just don't even pay attention to who you are. You don't even know who you are anymore, that you get so lost.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, it's like, that guy was stuck in the rejection mode. Like we talked about the growth, like you're morphing and growing into somebody, and you have to accept that and grow into that. So like when I look in the mirror, dude, like fuck the self-rejection, like all that stuff, grow into who you're trying to be. If that's who you aspire to be truthful with yourself. And that's what I do. Like I try to be truthful with myself and say, are you happy? Are you taking care of your responsibilities? Does everybody around you, feel safe? Like, 'cause I take care of people. I'm always a safe thing. I don't know why. It's just in my nature. But I feel like I've been able to shed the old person, like as of like the last like 2 years, honestly. I feel like I've been able to lock in on who I've become, like that person, and able to shed the old me and start to grow the new me. Like I said, like that cachet of things that I have built, I'm trying to grow the new me and use that cachet. Like you asked me earlier, how do I differentiate? I'm trying to grow me. If it ain't about growing me, you on that side of the line, and fuck it. And like it becomes easier and easier to see those examples. I know what's coming my way. I'm going to see it, catch it early, because I'm able to be okay with who I am now. I look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm going to be positive in who I'm growing. And then now I'm going to use that as my fuel for the rest of it. And honestly, I try my best to just say, fuck the rest of it. If it's negative, or if it's going to cause me to self-loathe, or, reminisce on something that I can't change, or something I can't be of positive growth going forward, I'm going to try to let it go. Like, and that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? But I'm going to try to let it go, honestly.
Are you allowing, I think, I love the fact that you brought up cachet in the beginning of this episode, and I've been rolling with it. But, for the people out there, you easily go on your internet browser and you wipe out your cache. You want your computer to run faster. So I ask you this now.
Yeah.
Are you have this super filled cache that you're basically going back and, referencing to allow yourself to build that new version? Are you erasing any of that cache as you're going?
Yeah.
Or are you allowing it to come with you as like, I gotta hold on to this to make sure that I don't? I think what are you doing about that?
It made me think about that, and this, I won't get too sad, but what made me think about that is I had seen a scrolling one day, and it said, would you, if you had one choice, you could only make new memories, or you could only be stuck with the old ones. Which one would you pick? And I was like, whoa, holy fuck. And I said to myself, I would want to grow the new self. So like, yes, you got to delete the old shit, but it's what you delete and how you delete it. Like, I will tell you, I got old friends that I used to grow up with. I love them to death. You know what I mean? We got, friendships, like it's growing apart from certain things that you have to detach from to be able to grow. That's it. You know what I mean? You have to delete some things and maybe not delete them, put them in the trash can. They're out of the cachet, but if I need to go, I could go back to the trash can and pull it back out because, certain things you just can't get rid of, but there are things that you definitely, when you look at that cachet you built up, you go, yeah, yeah, that's garbage. This I might want to, remove permanently. Yeah, you have to. You that's the only way you're going to grow, because if you keep certain negative things, that gravitational pull of certain negative forces is just unreal. Like, there's certain things you just have to let go.
Yeah, it'll pull you back.
Oh, hell yeah. You start reminiscing, you start going down. People always go 10 steps forward and 20 back. You start going forward, and then you start getting back into that negativity, and you go backwards. And it's just hard to get out of that rut, man.
Yeah.
Breaking the loop is insane. Dude.
Insane. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. So that would ask our last question of the day. If full self-acceptance is a journey, not a destination, what's one truth you've accepted lately? How has it set you free? Life is going to put me in a lot of places that I might not want to be. And I have to have the ability to be able to make those places what I want them to be, or transcend that place into something that I accept. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be put into all types of different, arenas. I might not like the grass in this arena. It might be a little soggy. And I can't cut. That mobility and the agility just ain't doing it on this AstroTurf. I want real grass. I can sit here and keep bitching and complaining about not being in the right arena, or I could just become that guy who is capable of all of those arenas and can step into any of those arenas and go, well, I'm prepared for this bullshit. Let's do it. And just absolutely kick ass. Versus being the guy who's going to step into those arenas, which is what, I could have been in the past, and go, like I said.
What do you mean turf?
Yeah, what do you mean turf?
Turf?
Who? Turf.
I'm going to tear my ACL.
Yeah. Things like that.
Turf.
And I I joke. I just want to, if I'm looking at life as being a journey, not a destination, then it is a consistent game plan of this game plan is always going to change.
Yeah.
And allow myself that grace of knowing that, like, dude, aren't you like the greatest football coach of all time? Like, for your reality, for your existence, for yourself. Aren't you like the guy who's supposed to be in the driver's seat? So just be in the fucking driver's seat. Yeah. Don't allow life to make you feel like it's got the wheel. You keep the wheel, you keep it steady, and you're on the highway. It don't fucking matter if some guy's going 10 miles an hour and its speed limit 65, because there's going to be some guy zipping past you at 125, and you're going to be going, what an asshole. Why don't you be a little bit more fucking safe? You're going to kill somebody out here. When in reality, if all you did was just worry about your car and where you were going, what speed you were getting there, you were going to get to your location when you needed to. Yeah. Not because someone else stopped you from being, oh, that person cut me off. That person cut you off for a reason. There's something that you needed in that cutoff.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's mine in this world of full self-acceptance. Holy shit, man. That's a doozy. Even just saying that and just putting, like, allowing that weight to, like, you feel it, man, that's a heavy backpack self-acceptance.
Yeah.
It's got a hell of a cachet if we're we're joking around.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, how about yourself, Jeff?
I mean, you want to talk about lately?
I
was just sharing with you, like, what happened to me with, Pittsburgh, the parking wars right now, with everybody digging out parking spaces and shit.
I got the chair back out.
I'm about to pull the chair out.
No one's disrespected the chair yet. I appreciate it.
Dude, somebody disrespected. I didn't even have a chair out.
They just parked right in front of your house.
I tried to go straight. Good person, good vibe. It's all right. Nobody will park in my spot. It's right in front of my house. Anyway, dude parks in front of the crib, and I'm like, lately, like, if I had to be honest with you, I get so short-tempered with certain things, and you want to talk about like life being a journey. Like if self-acceptance was a journey, like, and not a destination, like a journey to me continues. I'm going to have to deal with this along my journey. Like being honest with myself, like just putting myself in that situation. Like I told you before, I go back to those experiences. I thought to myself, like, all right, you're hot, chill out, cool off. I was getting ready to go full action Bronson up in that motherfucker. Boom, 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 boom. Get the fuck out my spot. Chill. But it's that I got hot instantly, and if I'm reflecting on it, I noticed that like anytime like I get so hot quick, and I need to learn to bring it down. And if I'm gonna be on that journey that's never gonna end and continue to morph, I'm gonna have to keep trying to write my story, write my journey with being self-aware and self-growth. And that I just point to that example as one, because that's a situation where I know I get hot-headed sometimes, and everybody gets hot, but like for me, I get hot instantly. Like to me, and I'm starting to notice it, self-awareness. I'm starting to be aware, like, dude, you gotta chill sometimes. Like it was that serious to me. Like I spent 2 hours digging that spot out. I paid $75 to have some of the other snow removed. Like, and this dude just parks in my spot and tried to lie to me and play me like I was a good guy. No. We're not gonna do that. So I lost myself in the interim. Like, and I was like, dude, chill. And I did. I was able to come on down, and I even pissed dude off. I told him, I said, could you just move your car, please, and thank you. Oh, that jagged him right off. But like, and like I said, like you just gotta. I kept trying to say to myself, just chill, bro. Like, be aware, like self-aware. This is a journey. This is a long journey. So on this journey, when you see these things, like we just talked about, remember it, see it, try to deflect. And I was able to in that situation, because like when the dude tells me, get the fuck off my porch, I wanted to just punch him right in his mouth, you little young punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I help your grandma all the time, dude. You're ready to throw me off the porch like I'm a piece of shit after you just parked in my spot. You kidding me?
You to jag off,
dude.
here.
I was hot instantly, but like but anyway, not to get too off topic, but it's that journey. Like if I'm being honest with myself, like when I thought about that question, I'm like, oh, here, you want to talk about lately? I'll talk about real fucking lately. You know what I mean?
Literally on the way here,
ready to kill this fucking dude. You know what I mean? But like it's getting hot like this, and that looking in the mirror, like we talked about, like reflecting on that, knowing like if you know you're gonna be hot instantly in them situations, give yourself time to cool off. Maybe try to divert it a different way. And I did that. I tried to. I really did. And I was proud of myself in that moment. I told you that, bro. I was really proud of myself because I really wanted to just, but I didn't. I was able to be self-aware and reflect on it. And like I always preach, I reflected, made a decision that was better for me, and it got along. But that's part of my journey of accepting who I am, is I'm going to be who I am in certain situations and then try to divert away from that person when I have to, when it's convenient for me not to get myself into a situation where I got to learn something.
Yeah, I recently was able to walk out of a situation like that too, where old Zach would have kept, old Zach already knew when this person hit me with cell phones aren't as powerful as laptops. And I said, I can already see that they're just, their breath is just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And when they hit me with that, and it was like oh, no, you didn't just open up the door for me, because I could make you look really, really fucking stupid right now. And then it was, whoa, Zach, you don't need to make anybody look real fucking stupid right now. You are allowed to allow them to make whatever the hell they want. If they don't have that awareness, you need to not. And I said, well, it seems like we're not going to be able to have a conversation here, so I'm just going to remove myself from the room. Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. And old Zach did not know how to remove himself from the room.
You would have gave it to him.
Old Zach would have kept going. Then why don't you explain to me how this is possible? And then hit him with some facts. And then it's just, you start hitting him with old Zach. Old Zach was sitting there and he saw the whole thing play out.
Just say?
No, he did
Hey,
not.
He was like,
I was like, oh, you opened it up.
I've been waiting all day for this.
It was like Mortal Kombat. I just saw the finish him. And it was like, no, we don't need to do this right now. Yeah. So I can't believe I pulled myself back, and I'm so proud of that, man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
yeah.
All right, let's roll it out. For me, I think I've accepted the most right now is that I don't need to prove my worth through performance. And that I don't need to earn the peace in my life. And the one truth I wrote down that I'm going to try to move forward with is that I'm not one failure away from being worthless, and I'm not one accomplishment away from being enough. Like that's just like those two, like very low on the spectrum, very high on the spectrum. Like that is exhausting. Both those are exhausting. To earn peace, or again, lack of earning peace, it's just to be like, the is what it is mentality. Like keeping that like, cool, this is where I am today. I'm sitting in the pocket. There might be a 300-pound defensive end coming behind me to smash the fucking shit out of me, whatever it is, however you want to accept it, driving on the highway. I think that for me, just understanding that like not one big leap in my life is going to make me enough for myself or other people, and not fucking up is going to, or fucking up is not going to make me the most worthless person in the world. Like that, those two extremes are just something I need to do away with. I need to be able to just sit in with who I am, accept the is what it is mentality. Like, cool, like here's where I am today, and that's enough. And tomorrow, maybe we'll grow a little bit, and then it is what it is that day. And those are just little steps on a daily basis, or what I'm going to try to live by.
Your compounding interest comments that you were making earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, y'all. This was an absolute kick-ass episode on acceptance. Have we fully accepted ourselves? I think we're pretty aware of what we want to accept. Have we fully locked it in? Well, time will tell, and only the expression of how we live and show ourselves to the rest of the world will actually tell that story. So I want to give both these guys, Jeff, you got anything to write us out on?
Be you.
Yeah, I like that.
Be you.
Hell yeah.
You, sir?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Pardon my French. Pardon my French.
Hey, look, hell yeah. Be yourself. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's it.
Hell yeah.
All right, y'all. Acceptance is definitely a journey. It is not a destination. It's going to consistently be something that rides along with you, at least what I'm seeing right now. If I fully accept myself, then what's after that? If I have nothing left to accept, if I have nothing left to grow into, to, be a part of, to bring into my reality, then I guess, what are we doing after that? I don't know. We shall find out. But this was an absolute kick-ass episode. We appreciate you guys riding along with us. Don't trust us, trust yourself. That's what we always say, because if you can't trust yourself, then how are you going to trust anybody else? See you guys on the next one. Take care.
Later.
Thanks again for tuning into episode 59, Acceptance. How do I come to terms with myself? Don't hesitate to catch the gang's next release, episode 60, Execution. Can I make it out with no scars? Something that has been installed in so many, young adults is this idea that if you are not executing with precision and making sure that you were performing above others, then you might have been falling behind. This can be a pretty nasty headspace for someone to experience. Well, I feel like I might have experienced it. Did anybody else? Or could it provide no difference to another? That's a strong possibility. On this next episode, let's give you two of the questions from the outline. Question number 2. What does execution look like when motivation is gone and discipline is the only thing left? And let's go number 4. How do you personally stay aligned with your vision when progress feels invisible and no one is checking in on you? We appreciate you guys tuning in. Take care.